Shadow Man! Yes, my favorite Mega Man boss gets his own game. No, it's not a Mega Man boss. It's the Shadow Man, the man of the shadows. Yes, many people may have some nostalgia, some familiarity with this title. This is the 2021 remaster by Nightdive Studios of the Nintendo 64, Windows PC, and PlayStation game Shadow Man. Shadow Man, if you don't know, is actually based on a comic book series aptly titled Shadow Man. But he was first introduced in a comic book called XO Manowar. That's right. Do you love Manowars? Well, you better if you like Shadow Man, because that's the progenitor for the character and the comic. But he had a bit of a tumultuous history. So under Valiant Comics, where Shadow Man was originally published, as was XO Manowar, the company was picked up by Acclaim in 1996, and as with many things Acclaim, the series thrived and died with the company. Fortunately, though, we did get Shadow Man, and we actually did get a Shadow Man Second Coming. It's read with a 2 in place of the S. Very confusing, but it is Second Coming. The first one wasn't good enough, so he came again. I played Shadow Man on the N64 and couldn't see a goddamn thing, which is why I'm so happy to be playing the remaster today, because you can adjust the filters and you can see things much better. And so I've made a lot more progress in the remaster than I have the original game. And if I was to describe the concept for Shadow Man, well, you have to collect the Dark Souls. It's the original Dark Souls game. That's actually what you're doing. This purple orb in front of me is considered a Dark Soul.
The power of the Dark Souls. I embrace it.
Shadow Man is a bit of a shaman. He seems to collect these mystical elements from across the realms. He goes to Deadside in the very beginning of the game, and that's what these abhorrent creations are you're seeing in front of you, and that explode so gushously. It's not a word, but they gush when they explode. And I think this is such a cool concept. I feel like it's unexplored a lot. We have a literal voodoo performing shaman in a world of mysticism. And that seems to be the concept for the character. As far as the comic books go, I've never read any of them. I'd be interested, but as far as I could see, you can. They're mostly available in single issues, so I need to find a volume to read it, because I'm not a single issue guy. I have more than one issue, you know. I got a lot of issues going on. The gameplay is okay. It feels like it plays in PC mode. It's very hard to describe without giving you the feeling for it. Everything feels very WASD. Maybe it's with the third-person movement style. And it operates almost like some Lara Croft tomb raiding as well. A lot of like ledge grabbing, and then you have to like push up to naturally go up the ledge, or push up and press A to bounce off the ledge. It gets very tricky. This is complex platforming in a game that has a lot of platforming. I actually kind of like it. There's something about the challenge of the exploration that I really like, and it's never so punishing. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is you lose all your health, or you instant death, and then you end up back at the beginning of the stage. But you don't really game over. I kind of like that. He's like eternal. Shadow Man is eternal. He will always go on. I think the issue is that sometimes it feels a little janky with the jumps and the falls. Like, whoops, just fell right there. That sucks. And so it just doesn't have the Mario feel. I don't know why I'm looking for Mario and Shadow Man, but I guess I am. But it's, you know, in the first hour or so of the game, you really do feel like you've explored a lot. Something about the exploration in this game is very labyrinthian. Everything is so complex. There's so many layers to each level. I really like it. All right, we're now going to activate a teleporter teddy bear. And we are going to the world of life. I don't think it's called Live Side, but it's called Louisiana. And it's very much brighter than the Death Side.
My shadow powers increase, Nettie. As they do, I feel as if a great darkness is threatening to swallow me up.
You ain't felt nothing yet, Shadow Man. You ain't been inside the asylum. It's your fate to go inside the rotten heart of Deadside and then pass beyond it to the 5.
So the 5 serial killers Deacon mentioned in his report are from Deadside?
The 5 are mortal men under the influence of a greater evil. They are the heralds for the apocalypse, opening the way for the armies of the damned, the power of the dark souls unleashed upon the earth.
So I guess it's next stop Asylum.
Damn right. Get yourself in there and find out how to stop the 5 from opening the way and keep taking them dark souls.
You ain't felt nothing yet, Shadow Man. I apologize to everybody, but I had to. It's so good. The voice acting is incredible in this game. I find it so endearing, so charming. Getting the dark souls in Shadow Man. And there's the Mother Mary. Yeah, this game has some real life to it. You know, I know, like, you probably see it and go, like, oh, it's a lot of like janky run and gun platforming, but the game has a lot of heart that I really appreciate. Even this stage, like this live side stage, like you really get a sense of the swamps. I remember when you start off this game, it's been a couple of weeks since I played the beginning of the game, but you start the game and you're rowing down a boat and dude, the freaking main character here, I forget his name. I'm just going to call him Shadow Man. Oh, no, let me look it up. Jack the Ripper. Okay, even better. No. Is it Jack? Jack Boniface? I don't know. Whatever. Michael Leroy. Michael. So, the beginning of this game, he's coming down a rowboat in the Louisiana swamp, and he's like, well, I'm in the asshole of the America now. You know, it's neither life nor death, but, you know, I feel right at home. I feel right at home in the asshole of the world. It's incredible. And the fact that it's Louisiana. I mean, I've never been to Louisiana. I love this, though. This stage is very Louisiana-esque. You're going through this murky water. There's a couple crocodiles that are going to show up later. I just picked up this heart thing. It doesn't really do anything, but the game has like a lot of collectibles, so there is this incentive to going around and collecting. I think you use those to get special powers at some of the books later on in the game. But man, talk about setting. This is terrific. I wish in my exploration of this that more of the game looked like this, and maybe it does. You can consider these early impressions, but I think this is perhaps part of the best looking areas of the game.
How are you doing, Michael?
I've been putting 2 and 2 together.
So you're a mathematical genius now.
And what this all adds up to is...
a whole heap of stinking cow shite.
Will you please let me finish?
Sorry, you were saying?
The Black Tower plowing its way through Deadside is called the Asylum. Something, I'm not sure exactly what, has somehow projected 5 of these dark souls across the veil to Liveside. These dark souls now empower the twisted minds of 5 serial killers. It seems that these 5 are the heralds of apocalypse, preparing the way for that immortal dark soul army Nettie spoke of. But I guess you already know all of this.
All I know is you're in a whole heap of stinking cow shite. I also know that you need to find a way into the asylum, because if you can do that, then you may be able to find out how this terrible something projected the 5 across the veil. And if you can do that small thing, then you may be able to put a stop to his decidedly dastardly plan.
Oh, is that all?
What, and you thought being a super powerful undead voodoo god and lord at that side was going to be easy?
I didn't really have any choice in the matter, if you recall.
Whatever. If you're looking for a way into the asylum, you might try exploring the paths of shadow. The filthy place is torn up so much at dead side it's bound to have an outlet somewhere.
You know, that sounds like surprisingly good advice.
Always glad to be of service to a voodoo demigod. Now piss away.
The paths of shadow.
Oh, and Michael.
What is it?
When you do finally get into the asylum, make sure you tell Jeffrey Dahmer I said how are you.
I don't know who I prefer, Michael or Jaunty. They're both voiced so well. Man, just such awesome characterization. I hope I get to see more characters in this game. As far as like the action and the gameplay elements, I haven't really seen a lot more interactable enemies than like your like resurrected corpses and Dead Side, or like these aberrations like of that spit vile bile at you, vile bile, or the crocodiles or dogs in Live Side. But I do think that my favorite moments are some of these cutscene elements. I really like them. And I mean, this weapon, this voodoo weapon I got going on, flaming these corpses, is also pretty incredible. So I'm enjoying that too. Whoa, Michael. You have exploded the tomb of the dead. So this is part of the exploration for the game, is using your Dark Souls to open these doors to unlock paths for yourself to new realms. And so I'm entering the Asylum right now, an insane asylum. A lot of the antagonists are serial killers. I don't know too much about it yet, but here we go.
And into Asylum, like a great black engine roaring to eternity, ravaging the already benighted landscape with its savage, malevolent presence. And within the legions of the truly damned, insanity, sheer and stark, and once in human form, now gutted and torn by eons of glutted indulgence. Their bloodlust flecking the oily walls, living in the shrieks of victims ensnared, hanged, drawn, and quartered by the serpent's squalid writhings. This is the place I have not wanted to dream of, and the dream is now the place I partly live through.
This is the place I dream not of. How poetic is this damn game? I really respect the hell out of this. This is quite the achievement. This is where I'm at as far as my gameplay goes. At the time of recording, I'm at the Asylum, and not the one in Batman, not Arkham Asylum, Shadow Man Asylum. And it's really good so far. I mean, it's really engaging. One of my things is, like, it's really easy to get lost in, which is part of the charm that I appreciate, is getting lost here. At the same time, like, it's not the easiest just pick up and play type of title either. But I do think that if you want to, like, feel small in a big world, this is a great game to do it. And just the variety in the environments. I know a lot of them are dark like this, but I mean, it fits the theme. I think this is a great Halloween game if you're interested. I would not personally go back to the Dreamcast, N64, or PlayStation 1 versions. I know people may have nostalgia with them and were able to clear them back in the day, and that's great. But I think it's just so much easier to see things in this version and to experiment. Like I said, I never got this far when I played it on the N64 back in the day. And I just really appreciate it. So much to see, so much to do. What lurks in the shadows, we'll find together. Shadow Man. Play it today.